Dave from cheapwinefinder.com, and today we have a Bordeaux wine from Costco, a $7.99 Bordeaux wine from Costco. This is the Chateau Le Grand Moulin 2016. In Bordeaux places everything, and this is from the Blaye Cotes Bordeaux region. It's on the right bank, on the northmost part of the right bank, and it's a Merlot-based wine. It was 80% Merlot, 15% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 5% Cabernet Franc. And that's how it is. If right bank is supposed to be Cabernet Sauvignon, left bank Merlot, but it doesn't have to be that way, and it can mix in. And this is on the north end of Bordeaux, and all the fancy Pomerol and whatever are farther south. This is a wine that is more of an everyday wine for people in France, but maybe a step up. It's, not the basic wine. This is a little bit better. It's an estate wine, single vineyard estate. The Chateau Le Grand have been around for over 100 years. It's been in the family for 3 generations. It's legit. This wine also got 89, 90 points. I think James Suckling and Wine Enthusiast gave them points. And, I don't think points for value price wines are going to tell you if you're going to like it or not, because it usually doesn't. Because what a wine professional looks for in a wine who's drinking $300 bottles of wine all the time, they look for different things than you and I do, who are drinking it for as much pleasure as anything else. When they give it close to 89, 90 points, that means it's a quality wine, that it's well made, that the grapes are good, that the production standards were good, that it was done to very high standards. And with a $7.99 wine that's $7.99 shipped from France, that's a good thing to know. And this is a very French wine. French wine isn't like California, Washington State red blends. It's going to have less ripe fruit. It's going to have more structure, though this does have fruit, but it's different. Even though there used to be a thing, Old World, New World, and the New World was big and fruity, and Old World was all about structure. And that's not so much the case. Everything is kind of different levels of New World now. Fruit does sell for wine. And how do I put it? This is more of, if you're used to California wine, this is going to have more Old World than you might be used to. But that's not a bad thing, because it kind of resets your palate. If you're used to wines that are just fruity and maybe a slight touch sweet, nectar sweet, not sugar sweet, then you take one of these wines that has its tannins, that has the acidity, that shows its structure. It's a good learning experience for your palate all over again. Sometimes you forget, because you could be liking wines, and you can like any wine you want to like, but sometimes they might not be the best made wines in the world. They're all fruit and flavor. It's like, are milkshakes the greatest thing ever? No, but for you, but no, they taste great. And, so this might get your palate changed, because there are California wines that do have tannins and acidity and that type of thing in the value price. But this will be a check, a palate check, as it were. And I'm going to have a taste at the moment, because there is something about Bordeaux with the interplay between Merlot and Cabernet that is totally cool. One thing I've always, until I kind of started drinking Bordeaux wines, I never quite understood Merlot. I mean, there would be Merlots out there, and they were nice, but they're kind of inoffensive. Nothing you can remember. Oh, I'm glad I drank it, but 2 days later, you forgot you drank it. And that, but there are good producers around that make fabulous Merlots, but, it's here and there. In Bordeaux, you drink a red, one of their blends, and you go, oh, that's what Merlot is all about. And this is predominantly Merlot up front. Then you get the just that little bit, there's 15% Cabernet Sauvignon, that little bit of a Cabernet Franc on the other side. It just comes in at the end, and you get the interplay where you get those grapes because you know what you're looking for. Sometimes with a red blend, there's 14 different grapes in there, and you can't really figure out what is what. You don't care, but you do care with Bordeaux. You want to know about that interplay between Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon, and to a certain extent, Cabernet Franc, because that's kind of where all the fun's at. And this one does have it for an $8 wine. It's pretty cool. And it's got structure. It's like a little bit stiff. It's got its tannins. It's a 2016. And if it's a sub $10 wine, maybe it's a $12 wine, Costco selling it cheap. But if you look at a lot of wines from the U.S., California, Washington, wherever, the tannins are kind of take a back seat. I mean, they've gotten better at it. The inexpensive wines do have tannins. They're sweet. They don't bite. They're there. But to have a wine that really shows its tannins, and these don't bite here, but they're there, it's kind of, so that's what tannins used to be. You kind of forget. And this has that. So it's kind of a good thing to try these now and again. Not even if you're not a fan of French wine, it just makes you remember what structure is. And it makes you pick out maybe better wines from California. If you are a fruit wine fan, I shouldn't say fruit wine, but a fruit forward wine fan, you're going to, getting ones that have a decent amount of structure is kind of the better way to go. I mean, it's just a better wine. Drink better wines. And there's more and more better wines out there. But this is an inexpensive way to get into Bordeaux, get into what French wines are about, because it does have the earmarks of what a French wine is. It's got the structure. It's got the interplay between the Merlot and the Cabernet, both those grapes. And it tastes good. It's inexpensive. It's not the same old, same old. I took another drink, and it does open up. As a 2016, it does have tannins, and it's not aged in oak. It's aged in cement. And they make these cement vats. And so 2016 is kind of a long time for an inexpensive wine. A lot of times when they make wines are supposed to sell for around $10. They make it with production techniques that lessen how much oak is in there, less than the tannins. They do it on purpose because the wine can come together quicker, and the quicker they can come together, the quicker they can sell it to you, and the lower the price can be. It's having wines with not a lot of tannins there's a reason for it, and it comes in cheaper that way. So this has been around. This is just turned 2020. And this is a 2016 wine. So it's been sitting around for a while, but not in oak. So it's been in cement tanks for a while. Why cement tanks? Because they make those thick enough that there isn't as much temperature changes and humidity changes because the cement is insulating. They line it so you're not getting all the chemicals in the cement in there. So it doesn't get that. But like stainless steel tanks are kind of thin-walled, and if there's a change of humidity, there's a change in temperature, the wine knows it. In wood and oak, the same kind of thing. You got to pretty much put the oak into a cellar where there isn't those changes. And cement kind of does that because wine doesn't like any kind of changes in temperature or humidity. It likes to be stable, and cement gives it that. So it's something you see a lot in France and Spain and maybe in Italy, and starting to see in the United States because it does have some advantages. But here we go. This has been sitting for a while because the tannins had to calm down. Usually in the U.S., it's been sitting around for a while, not so much because the tannins got to calm down and because it's got the yolk has to blend in. So this is like a different philosophy for making wine. Oh, another thing it had is cold maceration, which is something I hadn't really seen before. I imagine other wines have had it, but this is the first one that wanted to display that in their technical notes. And what cold maceration is, they refrigerate the grapes before fermentation. And what that does to it, it kind of concentrates the color and the flavors of the wine. So when they start the fermentation up, these refrigerated wines are somehow, I guess they're everything's calmed down because it's cold. And, so when you go through the fermentation, you're going to get the best of what they are. So there's some care and detail in this wine. It's the Chateau Le Grand Moulin 2016 from Costco for $7.99. It is fun. It's Bordeaux, it's Merlot, it's Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc. It's not the same old, same old. This is a French wine. I recommend drinking French wines. Even if you're into California wines, have it every so often just to be a regulator. It kind of puts you back in a place where structure is king. And even if you're not a big fan, you'd rather have the big fruit going on. It does get your palate ready for finding the other elements of wine. So that's a good thing. See, where are we going now? I'm not sure what we're doing the next couple of days, but we're going to do it. And what's else? Oh, we're going to Bordeaux and Chicago next week. So we're going to have a fun time drinking the high-end stuff at the Drake Hotel. We're going to have a good time there. And what else is happening here? That's about it. Adios. Drink more wine. And French, Italian, Spain, every other country, USA. Go USA and all that. And adios. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.